So I think it's time we kicked off. Fellow Town Councillors, a very warm welcome to you. I'd also like to welcome this evening our Borough Board Councillors and of course Council Councillors. And as you see, we've also got Councillor Michelle Moncrief with us this evening. Very warm welcome. Police, there's no police yet, is there?
Oh no.
I'd also like to welcome members of the public. Very warm welcome to you all. I hope that you've all read the emergency evacuation, which you should have on your seats. In the unlikely event that the alarm may go off, please make your way down the fire exit, down the fire stairs, and we all assemble at the corner of Queen Street and Reynolds Street. I do hope that you've all signed in. This is a safety measure, and hopefully we'll all be okay this evening. Also, we're also recording the meeting, and it will hopefully appear on the council website within the next 2 days. That's correct, Ian? Is there any other person wishing to record this evening? No? Of course, we do have a duty to get the people that don't wish to record. And I would also ask you please to either switch your mobiles to off or to silent. Just before the meeting, I would just like to say that I hope that members will just take a few moments this evening just to think about two friends and colleagues who are, having a bad time at the moment. Councillor Marion Wright and also the Archivist Brian Mulgrave. I'm sure that we'll send our very best wishes to them both.
Have you heard the latest news about mine?
I'm going to come on to that, Councillor, unless you want to.
No.
And I'll declare the meeting open. Thank you. Agenda 1, notice of meeting. Thank you. 2, apologies, Gina, please.
Councillor Marion Wright, ill health. Borough Councillor Colin Haddington, work commitment. And Miss Natalie Wilson work at 5 days today. That's not correct.
Do you all accept those apologies? Thank you. Agenda 3, declarations of interest. Members are reminded of the need to consider whether they have a disclosure pecuniary interest or personal interest as detailed in Appendix A and Appendix B of the Town Council's Code of Conduct to declare in any of the items on this agenda. If so, the nature of the interest must be declared at the start of the meeting. In addition, the attached form must be completed and passed to the Town Clerk. Are there any declarations of interest from members in items on the agenda? Councillor Cockrell, please.
Yeah, my usual one, anything that involves a decision.
Of course, members can also declare their interest at any point throughout the meeting if they feel the need to do so. Before we get going, seeing as the police aren't here, I'll just update members on Councillor Wright. Unfortunately, at the weekend, Marion was stretching out to put the phone back in the cradle and out popped her hip. So she had to have an operation to put it back. She was recovering quite well from that, and on Tuesday she had an appointment in Hull with a specialist that did the original operation. Everything went fine, and the consultant was quite happy with her. Said that she could start to put weight on the foot, and hopefully by January she would be up and walking about a bit more freely. On the way home in the ambulance, the hip popped out again. So they brought her back to Scarborough and they operated again this morning and popped the hip back in. She's quite perky, she's fed up with what she's having to suffer, but she's hoping that everything now is going to run smoothly. And hopefully she'll start a physio soon, and that will build up her muscle, and hopefully that will keep the hip in place. Right, well, with members' permission, I'd like to defer North Yorkshire. Just knock it back, please. We're not here yet. PCSO Tony Bates is supposed to be coming, so if members agree, we'll push it back until he arrives. Agenda item 5, public question time. To receive questions on items on this agenda from members of the public, as usual, 15 minutes is allocated for public question time. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak this evening? Yes. Would you just like to give your name to for the clerk, please?
Yes, Victoria Mazuchin. I'll spell the surname for you. M-U-Z-Z-U-C-H-I-N.
Thank you.
It's the issue, it may seem a minor thing, but it's the issue of the leaves in the guttering and the litter. Now, somebody came the other day and cleaned the drains out, but there's an area where they say they can't clean it because there's always cars parked there.
Can you just explain to members which area you're referring to, please?
I'm sorry. I live at the top of Queen Street,
Right.
Near the sugar cube.
Yes.
And in front of me, we're pretty much okay with that. That's been cleaned. But just a bit higher up past the museum, it's still full of leaves. I did come to the office and ask about it, and they said, which was quite reasonable, they couldn't do anything about it because there was always cars parked there. But, I mean, there's cars parked all over Filey, but the street seems to be so I don't know why it can't be done. But the main worry is that when we had that storm, before they cleaned the drain, the water was coming down like a river. And my concern is my house, you know, and the museum as well, which is next door.
This would be a county issue, is it?
Mm.
Yeah. Councillor Cross, would you like to?
Yeah, I know we did have some problems with the drain outside too, Queen Street, and we got that out, cleared out. Are you at number 2, are you?
Number 6.
Number 6, on the corner that we're blocking, because you have to put a camera down there on the corner. As far as the concern with regard to clearing the leaf, that would be done by Scarborough when they go around. And as such, you know, if the cars are there, you know, they obviously can't clean. You know, I mean, we can ask, you know, Scarborough, you know, to clean the leaves. But I know there were problems with 2, and I did have it outside cleaned and redirected the drain there.
The yellow line only goes so far
to
prevent them parking on that side.
Yeah.
And then
outside where you are, it's I know what you mean, and you've got a few
I'm okay there,
because
it's the yellow line, but
yeah.
Anyway, if it blocks up again, I don't know what the consequence.
Well, you can always contact me if the drain is blocked, and I'll give you my number.
Okay, thank you.
And I just live at the end of Queen Street.
All right, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Just to respond to you, the gully outside number 2 has been jetted out only last week, so it did tend to flood across Queen Street, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. The County Council has done that. I did ask the Scarborough Council Park Department to have a thorough cleansing of Queen Street, and I know they did quite a lot of the top part of Queen Street, but there are areas in between the cars that do need attention, and I'll flag that up again for you if you wish.
All right, thank you very much.
You're quite all right now?
Yes, that's lovely. Thank you so much.
Are there any other members of the public? No? Right. Well, thank you. Agenda item 6, Local Council Award Scheme, Quality Level Award. As you see, it's noted that the Filey Town Council has been accredited with a foundation award level within the last year, and now meets the criteria to apply for accreditation for a quality award level. Christina, do you want to?
Yes, members of the Strategic Planning Committee have worked extremely hard on the quality level award submission, and it's now got to the point that the submission is ready for submitting to the accreditation panel. So before that is sent off and the strategic planning members have had sight of the actual full submission, the council has to pass 2 resolutions. The first one is it confirms that it has these 10 items on its website and publishes it online. And the second one is that it has all the relevant documents from 1 to 9. Most of those are on the website, but some of them are not and will be sent electronically with the submission. So it's just up to the council to support that submission now.
Chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, I'd like to put on record, please, how much work has been done by the office staff to get to this point where we are ready. And without all the work that Gina's done with the new website, we will be in no way in a position to be bringing this resolution towards this council. And it's a credit to her and her staff that we are now in this position, and I'd like to thank you for that, Gina.
Thank you very much.
Have members viewed the website recently?
Not for a few weeks.
It is in a very strong condition, I think. Much improved from what the old one was, and everything that needs to be there is there, in my opinion.
So the accreditation panel will look at everything on the website, and we will mark it from, it's all marked from the website now, because it's all about being open and transparent for members of the public and having all that information readily available for members of the public to view on the website.
Any other comments from members? No?
So do we need to take each resolution?
Right.
And
We'll take the first one. The first resolution is that the council confirms by resolution at a full council meeting, like publishers online, and it's there 1 to 10. Are members quite happy to pass that resolution? All in favour, please? Please show. Thank you. And the second one is that the council also confirms by resolution at a full council meeting that it has there again from 1 to 9. Are members quite happy to pass that resolution? Thank you. All in favour?
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
So I'll now send that submission off, and it takes possibly up to 2 months for the decision to be made whether we've reached that standard for the quality of water.
Well, I'm sure we would. I'm sure we will. I think we've full confidence in that. Right, thank you. Agenda item 7, to receive items from the previous minutes which require further consideration. A, minute number 711015, the high tide in Short Wells. To receive further correspondence from Mrs Robinson and the Borough Council, and a further letter to the Town Council dated the 30th of November 2015 for further consideration thereon. Gina?
Yes, members will note that there's been several exchanges of correspondence between the Town Council, the Borough Council and Mrs Robinson. And the Borough Council has stated that they are happy with the principle of an interpretation board for the sculpture, but have no objection to the Town Council taking this project forward directly with Mrs Robinson. But the Borough are saying that they have no resources to take this project on board. Mrs Robinson has informed the Town Council that she is willing to contribute up to £1,000 towards the information panel, but whilst it is envisaged that it may be purchased for this amount, the cost of the artwork and officer time and installation costs will be in addition to this amount. So it's up to members whether they wish to proceed with this project.
Have you all read the correspondence? As you see, I think Mrs Robinson has been quite generous in the money giving to the borough, and perhaps we've now been a little bit mean. Whether we as a council wish to support this and contribute and make up the difference, it's down to members. Council Casey, please.
She's also been very generous to Filey, but it's the point outside in the first place, so I think we should go ahead and instigate the information board or the information panel at our expense, including the £1,000 that she donated.
Any further comments?
I agree.
Yep, Councillor Wilkie, then Councillor Shaw, please.
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Casey. I mean, whatever we think about how stingy the borough are being over this, when, because it's all about money for the utility auction, all the rest of it, but what we're talking here maybe up to £5,000 maybe. I suppose I don't really know what they not as much as that.
No.
So 3,000 maybe up to.
No less than that.
Up to 2, I should say.
Yeah. So what means it's a drop in the ocean, isn't it really? And I think she's put £10,000 into the borough for them to say they can't come up with a bit of money. It's just totally out of order. But I think we should instigate it. I think it's time's come that if you want something doing, you've got to do it ourselves.
I mean, the borough have spent money on notice boards.
Oh yeah.
For it,
But there was time though.
apparently now there's no money.
Yeah.
So. Councillor.
All I was going to say was I agree that we should go ahead with it.
Okay. Councillor Hansford, did you have your hand up?
No, I was going to reiterate what Kevin said, that, you know, it's been spent in Scarborough, but Filey has been totally ignored. But as you say, it's an asset for the town. It's just we're, again, a separate part of the borough. We're totally alienated.
Councillor Cockrell.
Isn't it lucky I got the statute of Filey when I was a borough councillor?
Okay. Thank you. Are members...
If members are in agreement with this, then would you want me to consider it as part of the budget for next year? And also, it's who would do the artwork for the project, because that would be the difficult part in, obtaining the artwork.
Councillor Hansford.
Filey Bay Initiative did the two boards for the flying at the far end and the battle. It might be well worth having a word with them and seeing who it does, because it is a lovely artwork. And I'm sure theirs didn't come to more than 1,000, so it wasn't that expensive.
Do members agree in principle to support this and let the clerk do further investigations as to cost and where we can get the artwork done?
Yeah.
We're all in favour of that? Thank you. Do we need to write to Maureen?
Would you like
I
me
think
to
she'll
write?
want to know what Councillor Cockrell.
I was going to say before we vote, Chair, I'm sure we ought to hit what the content of the board is going to be focused on.
Well, we've just agreed in principle to the board at the moment, Councillor Cockrell.
So it's a bit arse about face.
Well, I suppose it is.
Yeah.
But I think
Can I ask what the content is going to be?
I think it was Mrs Robinson's wish that it was about the fishing heritage. That was Maureen's wish.
Right. Even though the statue is not a fisherman, it's an angler.
It is call it what you wish.
I'll call it an angler.
It's somebody that fishes, Councillor Cockrell.
Yes. For leisure, not commercially, which is what the interpretation was that Mrs Robinson wanted.
I think
about the decline, and so it would be totally inappropriate.
I think when this first came up, I think members agreed that it would be the fishing heritage that went on the board. Am I right in saying that?
Yes. Members have no objection to that.
With no objection to that. Councillor Wilkie.
I'm not so sure it is arse about face, because if we don't agree to the board, the content is irrelevant. So we've agreed in principle to the board, so let's have some discussions about what the content is.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's an angler or a fisherman, that's part of the discussions.
Absolutely.
So, let's just see what is the best thing. But obviously we've got to include Mrs Robinson.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Of course, you will have to apply in detail to the Borough Council when they see the proposed artwork.
Can I just have a steer from you what type of information panel you would like me to search for? Would it be metal framed one or a wooden one, or
Obviously it's going to have to withstand the weather and
something similar to
Stainless
the
steel.
FBI one?
Yeah, similar to the FBI.
Yeah.
316 stainless steel is what you want.
I think Aileen Newbury will be the first of all, so I'm not sure about that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right, thank you. B, minute number 754015, review of Borough Tourist Information Centres to receive report scheduled for the SPC Cabinet meeting on the 15th of December 2015 for consideration thereon.
Yes, Mr Trevor Watson, the Director at the Borough Council, has sent a statement via Mrs Janet Deacon. That's just been circulated to members this evening, so you should possibly, need a little bit of time to read that. And it explains why the report's been deferred by the Borough Council. I've spoken to Mrs Deacon, and she is to conduct further consultation, which was originally requested by the Town Council at the Chief Executive's liaison meeting, so that all relevant parties may be informed. And Mrs Deacon is to contact Filey Tourism Association and Filey Chamber of Trade. But I have been informed that the objectives still remain the same. So I've agreed a provisional date for a further Filey Town Council TIC review working group meeting with Mrs Deacon next Wednesday, the 16th of December at 2:30 now. It was at 2 o'clock, but it's 2:30, so that Jo Ireland can attend as well, because she's the head of customer first, or the senior officer there. So on that group are Councillors Shackleton, Buddenworth, Glanville, Hawley and Councillor Wright, on which I don't think she'll be able to attend. So how many of those members can attend next Wednesday at 2:30? So that's Councillor Glanville and Councillor Hawley. So do you think you have enough on that group, or do you need anybody else?
Well, if all 4 attend, we're okay.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Unless any member wants to come on, they're quite welcome to attend the meeting, If any other members wish to attend, Councillor Casey?
I've written it in, I'll have to check when I get home with the boss.
Councillor Lee?
I'll attend if I can.
If I can get shop coverage, I'll certainly attend.
Right, thank you. If you'll just allow, I'd like to suspend standing orders. Perhaps Councillor Michelle Moncrief would like to comment on the issues regarding TIC.
I don't want to necessarily get into detail on the tourism information centres, because that's Councillor Andrew Parkhouse's. I just want to, there are two aspects to this. And I think it's good that we have both Jo and Janet Deacon coming to speak to you, because the two aspects, and it always has been. The tourist information centres, I'm a cabinet member that covers customer first, and it has always been the case that so whatever decision was made in the tourist information centre would then trigger a review of customer first and how it would be delivered and what was being delivered. And there were several options that I was concerned that were on the table. When I've sort of been encouraging officers to explore those options more thoroughly before we actually take that the final decision, because I think what people want is not just a decision, but what is the plan, what's the next stage. And so one of the reasons why that report is not going forward and Trevor has sent out is so that we can explore those better, and that's why I've asked Jo to engage, and I'm meeting with her again tomorrow. And we've been going through specific issues. Both Filey and Whitby have just different scenarios. So one thing I want to make sure is that whatever solution we've considered every issue and any solutions that we can do. Because what I've said to him is I don't want to come forward with a view, whether it's popular or unpopular, but I want to be able to say that we have considered all options. And this is where we have come to on it. Because I do think there are things we can do. And I just think it needs more creative thinking. I think perhaps the way in which certain things were pitched to other bodies didn't give them room to actually work, and I do think there are other ways certainly customer first could be delivered. It would involve having a presence, in my view, in the town. But I have to go through that machinations with those officers to see how that would work.
Are there any questions from Michelle? If you wouldn't mind answering any? No? Right, thank you, Michelle. Can you say it's standing orders, please? Right, C, unit number 757015, Filey Assets. Consider registering the Hebron Centre and or the Filey Visitor Centre as assets of community value. You all have a copy of the nomination form. Gina?
Yes, members requested that I look into protecting Filey assets by using the new Localism Act 2011. And I have provided members with the relevant information from the Borough Council's website. In light of the current review of the Borough Tourist Information Centres, members may wish to consider registering the Filey Visitor Centre and or the Evron Centre as an asset of community value. This can be done by the Town Council, and should the Borough Council then consider disposing of the asset either by selling it or leasing it, this would trigger a moratorium period of 6 months, during which time the asset cannot be sold. This buys time for either the Town Council or a community group to bid for the property or apply for an asset transfer, and if you went down that route, then a proper detailed business plan would be required.
I think the form's quite simple.
It's quite a simple form,
Just
yeah.
you know, just to register an interest. Any comments from members? Do you wish to proceed with Councillor Banks, Golden Banks?
I was just going to absolutely agree that we should proceed with this for the Evron Centre. I think it's an exceptionally good idea. I think it's something that we need to look forward into because the future, you know, I think 3 to 5 years time things might be different. We need to protect as many assets as we can inside it.
They do seem to be disappearing at an alarming rate. Councillor Shaw, please.
Yes, I agree. We should certainly go forward with it, yes.
Any other members? Councillor Wilkie?
I'd agree in principle with it. I'm just concerned about the ongoing cost of the building, if we did end up having it in the end. But I know that's a decision further down.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But it's just in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Councillor Hatsby?
No, I fully agree we should go forward.
Can I be
Yeah,
clear
that's
on, do you want for the whole of the Evron Centre, including the visitor centre, or separately, or?
Well, my view is you may as well include it all if you're showing
Yeah.
registered an interest.
While the visitor centre is separate, some part, 2/3 of it is separate to the Evron Centre, so.
But at least if we protected it, like I said, you've got that 6 months buffer to sell it in court. I think that we protect it all at this present time anyway.
We would have to make it clear on the phone though.
Yes, I do need to know which way we want to go.
Yeah. With your permission, I'd like to spend signing orders, please, and bring Councillor Crossing.
Thank you, Chair. Really just to give my opinion. I think it would be an excellent idea for the Town Council. I think Edgehill Community Association are looking to take over the Fallsville Centre, so I don't know why Filey Town Council, which is a lot bigger and more organised than Edgehill, can't take over the Evron Centre. Seems common sense.
So members quite happy?
Yes.
Do we have a proposal?
This is just to register it.
Just to register.
Yes, just register it, yes.
And Councillor Shaw to second. Are we all in favour?
Yes.
Those against? Abstainers? Thank you. Councillor Cocker. Right. Thank you, members.
Because of the interest.
D, minute number 756015, Filey Country Park fence. To note the fence has now been removed by the Borough Council. This is obviously self-explanatory. Are there any comments from members regarding the fence? Councillor Haxby, please.
Agree word, it's been partially removed
Partially removed.
and not to the satisfaction of Filey Town Council. Why it wasn't taken another 30 yards, which is where we wanted it, I don't know. It's not achieved anything whatsoever, other than the borough sticking a finger up at us and saying, we'll do it as we want it, not as you want it. If anybody's been up there and seen the bit of fence that's left between the centre and the end of the horseshoe, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Can you comment on that, Councillor Cockcroft? I don't think we've had an explanation why it wasn't removed till...
That was a decision, delegated decision of the officers, the appropriate officers. I'd like to move a motion on this matter, Chairman, which reads that although the Town Council would have referred a further approximately 20 metres of fence to be removed, it notices the removal of a substantial length of the fence on Country Park that had been erected without due permission from the Borough Council.
and that the Town Council now moves forward in the hope it can work with others to improve and expand the facilities and amenities on Country Park, providing that appropriate permissions have been secured prior to any alterations construction work commences.
I think we'd all agree with that, Councillor Concord.
Right, well, I'll formally move it then. And hopefully we can draw a line under it and move forward.
We'll have to go around members, it's not my decision. Councillor Woodman, would that come to you?
Well, we seem to have discussed this fence ad nauseum. The fact that a good portion of it has been removed, I think we just ought to move on now. I'm fed up of hearing about the fence.
Okay.
I'm sad that the whole fence hasn't come down, but I think as a compromise to try and move forward within the council so we can get on more appropriate subjects, I'm happy for it to be what Councillor Conrad said.
Yes, move on.
Councillor Shaw, okay. Councillor Mead.
I thought we'd agreed on where it was going to come down.
Yes, we did.
And we all thought that's what was going to happen.
We did, Councillor Mead. We did request.
I just thought, yeah, but when Mr Thompson came here and we agreed with him, and he agreed with us what was going to happen. If you're going to say anything, say it through the chair. Don't start whispering it.
Through the chair, get your facts right.
Ask him.
What facts has he got wrong, Councillor Concord?
So it wasn't agreed the extent of the fencing with Mr Thompson. It was the agreement within the Town Council itself, but it wasn't agreed with Mr Thompson.
Are you alright with
Well,
that?
as far as I'm aware, that he agreed with us when our part was going to come down.
So do you agree with the motion that's Councillor Concord? You don't wish to move on? I think we should just move on. Councillor Wilkie?
I'm going to contradict myself here, because I was under the impression we'd agreed where it was.
Thank you.
This council has.
Yes, I'm saying my impression was we'd agreed. I can't say for definite whether the borough had agreed to it themselves. So it's been discussed that many times.
It was a request by this council to take X amount of yards.
Yeah. But the borough didn't say yes, that's okay.
No. But why they didn't go with our wishes? We've not been explained. That's not been explained to us, council.
Well, no, things just happen, don't they? And they just that's right. So, although I don't like to see that sort of thing, I think we have to move on at some point. But I would like an explanation as to why they're not considered our.
We shall have to write and ask them, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Casey.
Well, just saying really, the borough were completely aware of how much fence the council would take down and decided not to do it without any explanation. But, like I say, just move on with what we'll do.
Right, thank you. Councillor Lambert.
I just find it hilarious that the borough keeps just doing what they want when we've asked for something. I mean, I don't really think it's that hard, is it? We ask for a fence, an illegal fence at that, to be taken down. So why couldn't just do what we've requested? I don't know whether I'm like Councillor Wilkie. I would like, before I say let's put it to bed, I want an explanation as to why they haven't done what we've requested. I mean, we are a council. Why do you think we sit here month after month discussing things if things aren't going to get done when we've asked them to be done? Yes, I'm sick of hearing about it, and yes, I want it put to bed, but I'm afraid the borough just keep doing this, and I'm sorry, I won't make it. I'm not going to give a vote unless I know why they've done it.
Councillor Haxby, have you anything further to add?
I'll support Councillor Glanville. Mr Thompson, while maybe not agreeing, knew exactly what this council wanted. He was under no illusions what we wanted. And I would like an explanation as to why he didn't provide that. What that extra 20-30 metres made, I don't know. And for our borough representative to abdicate responsibility when he knew the strength of feeling of this council about that fence to an officer, it beggars belief. So I'm against it.
Councillor Walker.
I must go with Councillor Axby on this one as well. I mean, after all, it seems to me as though the Borough Council aren't listening to the town councils or the parish councils, as in fact, and they're just doing what they think fit. So I'm against it.
Okay. Well, like the rest of you, I'm a bit stalled talking one thing, one thing about this town fence. But I have to agree with the right-hand side here that we do need an explanation as to why our request to have X amount of yardage taken out of that fence has not been done, and we've not received an explanation yet. So until we get one, I think we should vote against this. Councillor Cockrell.
Yeah, I can't argue against you wanting an explanation, so I'll temporarily withdraw that. I will just correct Councillor Hagsby. I did not abdicate any responsibility. I do not have the responsibility for the extent of any fence. It is within the constitution of the Borough Council that decisions like that are delegated to the relevant officers. Please get your facts right.
Councillor Cockrell had many discussions with those officers and with the opposition, if you like to call FPOG the opposition.
Absolutely.
So you know totally well what the people of Filey wanted.
Absolutely.
And you could have influenced it.
The decision was the borough officers.
Because you wouldn't make it, and that's it, final.
It was not my responsibility.
Rubbish.
Why don't you listen to the facts? Why doesn't Councillor Hagsby listen to the facts instead of just ranting off?
Because if I believed half the facts, I'd be an idiot.
I'll rest my case.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Suspend standing orders, please, if you would. I think Councillor Cross has a comment, and then we'll move on.
You're just going back in my time as well. In 2009, 2010, we had a memorandum of understanding signed where the borough would consult with us on what we've done on the country park. And I'm surely with regard to the fence, that is something they should have consulted about it. We said that, I've heard said in many meetings, things, you know, what goes on, what's happened with the fence. There were no consultation. There were no, the memorandum of understanding currently isn't worth the paper that it's written on, unless they actually listen to the town council.
Right, thank you.
Chairman, surely you're going to correct Councillor Cross and say there was consultation.
There was limited consultation
There was
on
consultation.
certain parts of the fence, yes.
Thank you.
But not all of it. Thank you, Councillor Cochrane. You said something else, please. Right, so can we move on one more time then? Hopefully we'll...
Can you put it on the agenda for next month, please?
We will be...
with hopefully a reply back from Mr Thompson.
We will be receiving a reply. Well, an explanation, Councillor.
This motion is withdrawn.
That's withdrawn. Yes. Thank you. Right, D, minute number 771015. Land adjacent to the Filey line on sea front to receive information from Borough Councillor Cockrell.
Nothing to add, Chairman.
There's nothing to add. Yeah. Any comments from members? Councillor Wilkie?
I'm a bit perplexed about this one. I can't for the life of me remember what option 2 and option 3B were. I didn't have the stuff to hand. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like something doing with that land.
It's underway, Councillor.
Yeah, I believe it's underway.
Middle one is option 2.
Option 2 is
Middle.
the middle one, which is partially paved.
Partially paved and partially paved and partially grassed, half an hour.
And we were looking for the full paving one.
Option 3B was what the council agreed. I'll send that one round. That was what was agreed by the council.
I think it's a while since anybody's seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are there any other members wish to see that?
I mean that area is in the state it's in because of the contractors doing the bridge. No.
No, it's people walking across it and the spray coming over.
Councillor Coppell, that land was decimated after that enclosure there.
And most of it was on the other side, the railings near Bridge Hall, and that has recovered very well.
So we're going for a more expensive option. How does that give us better value for money then? What's the thinking behind that?
Because on 3B people were still walking across the grass, and the extra cost was a fair bit. But if I say that the cost to do 3B was 75%, the cost to do option 2 was 100%. So you get a lot more for your money, and it makes tidies up that area. I mean, you look at the grass that was there, and it just wasn't recovering.
Well, it all died, didn't it, when
it died, and you get people walking through Uche, and you get people walking across it. It is a terrible state.
But the grass is for walking on.
Yeah.
It should be able to withstand people walking on.
Yeah, and
I feel I have to agree with Councillor Wilkie that most of the damage to that area was done when Bridge Hall was.
All that area was just desolate.
There's areas of that weren't touched really when the work on the bridge was being done.
Councillor Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to come on to how the decision was made to go with option 2. So I'm a bit perplexed as to you were good enough to bring it to the council for us to discuss it, yet a decision being made within the halls of the borough council as to which option. So although yes, I would like something doing with it, and something's better than nothing, I think it should have come back here first. But
if you recall, I was pressed again to because this has been going on again for over a year, and I was pressed again to try and get some progress, which I did at senior level at the Borough Council, and the people who took that decision said it's option 2, option 3B, they wouldn't allow the funding to go forward for it.
Well, I totally accept that, but yes, get on with it. Is the issue for me. I'd rather it come back here first and then...
Well, believe it or believe it not, but there was a window of opportunity with the contractors and not much work, and they could step in more straight away.
It makes no difference if this chamber decided they didn't want it.
I'm explaining
I know, but
the reason.
I'm coming back at here.
Just on that point though, right, they didn't start till Monday. I know the fencing went up this weekend, but they didn't actually start any work till...
They didn't start on site, but the project, the build-up to the project did start when I said it started. In actual fact, it started 2 days early because I had a site meeting.
I mean, the workmen didn't start.
Yes, but the actual project started. The ordering of materials and things like that.
Councillor Haxby.
Yet again, following the last agenda item, we've had the wishes of this council totally ignored. Why do we meet as a council and discuss these items if what we decide is totally irrelevant, ignored, not taken into account? And how can one man take a unilateral decision to do it? The same man who's just said, I can't give permission for the fence to be removed, that's an officer level decision. One way you can decide to fade that whole grass area, and the next you can't decide to take a bit of fence away. You know, this is a democratic council. We made that decision to go for option 3B because we didn't want to see the whole area have landscape. We wanted some soft landscaping in it. If you recall, the old putting green was in a hell of a state, and that recovered. One of the reasons that area was in such a state was the lion. People went to see the lion and walked across to see the lion, which has now gone. I personally removed it with several Coast Guards last weekend, so that lion no longer exists. So there really is no reason for for the public to cross that grass now. And there's no reason why it shouldn't recover and be reinstated as it was, but that's too late. You know, we're here to represent the people of Filey. This is what this council...
Work on that, so I don't mean to sound negative, but I can only say from what's been discussed now, if decisions have been made with the right reasons, information should have been brought back so it could be discussed. Obviously I only know what's been said here this evening, so on that note I'm just going to sort of, if you don't mind, remain reasonably neutral. I don't know anything past information to add to it.
Councillor Shaw, please.
Let's just look at it in a positive way and just think, well, at least it's getting tidied up. You know, this, like you say, this has dragged on for so long, and there are other more important of the issues that we need to look at. So let's just draw a line under it and accept that that is what's happening.
Right, thank you, Councillor Shaw. Councillor Cockrell, have you anything else to add?
All I will add is, Chairman, as you can see from the date of the email, the very day that I found out that funding had been approved and it was being scheduled, I did inform the clerk.
Councillor Mead, please.
I think it should have come back to the council, full stop.
That's it, right, thank you. Councillor Hall.
I just feel that if the work's already started, then it comes within. That changing.
I would think it's virtually finished on today.
It's well on its way.
When I was down there, there's only a few metres to lay. Councillor Wilkie, have you...
Yeah, I just think we should accept second best.
Councillor Casey, please.
Well, I'm happy that something's happening down there because somebody did say the line being moved to a more suitable location. I'm not happy that it was just a fait accompli. It's another example of Filey Council being sidelined. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councillor Lambert.
Oh, I'm afraid I agree with Councillor Axby. I'm sorry. It's another way of the borough just whitewashing it, and I'm not going to accept it. I don't care how long it takes. Something's got to give somewhere along the line. I don't care if it was Councillor Cockrell or whoever it was. Someone should have come back to us to tell us that, I'm sorry, we're not going to do that option, what about it? So that we move on, not for someone just to say, there you go, there's a letter, work starts in so many days. I think it's terrible.
Thank you. Councillor Axby, anything?
Yeah, that I say, totally disgusted. It's obviously been taken at cabinet level. And of course we know who's on the cabinet. Full stop.
Again, it was not taken at cabinet level. I wish Councillor Caxton would get his facts right.
Councillor Walker, please.
Well,
So I'm getting headaches, are you?
We can't do anything about it now, it's being done. But I do think that this should have come back to the town council. It was them that had their input into it in the first place, Michael. And we did approve the 3B one, right? And that should have gone back to the borough council.
Which you did.
Yeah, but why? There's no reason why they should have altered that. I mean, once again, it looks as though that next to the town and parish councils will do what we want. And it does, honestly, it looks that way, right? It really does. So, to me, I do really think that should have come back to the council. I mean, after all, it says here, 28th of November, Monday the 28th of November, this is due to contracts and not having any paving work at the moment, right? And so, why couldn't it be just all over until this council meeting, and then they could have gone back to it? And, you know, I mean, it would have saved all this argument and going on.
Do you think it would? Do you really think it would? Because if it had come back to the town council, what would the town council say? We want 3B. And it would have gone back to the borough council, and you would have got who have the right to take the decision, and it would have come back doing it.
Once again, this is going
So you're never going to get away.
Yes, but
you're never going to resolve it.
They're not listening to what the town and parish councils are saying.
Believe me, the borough council does listen. They may not agree.
And that's the same with planning as well.
Well, let's not go there, council.
But whilst you've got two people like that, you're always going to have a difference of opinion.
Well, I know you are, but surely, if to save any arguments, a lot of arguments anyway, like there has been tonight, there was no need for it at all. It should have been brought back to this council like on this agenda. It should have been.
Right, thank you, Councillor Walker.
Councillor
Wilkie,
very
for
brief
one more
point.
time, please.
I was going to say, Mike, whether they agree or not, if we had said no, that's fine, but that's your job as the Lord Councillor for this town.
Which I did do, if you see on my...
So why did you just say no? No, don't do it.
It wasn't my decision.
It was your decision to say no, the council don't want it.
The decision was taken at a higher level than me.
So what, basically saying, well, whatever your point is, then it's not worth anything.
I put forward thoughts, and I always put forward whether I agree with the recommendations from other people. I put them forward, and then it's up to the people who took the decision. And the decision was, if we're going to spend any money at all block paving, it's option 2.
Yeah, and we say no, we don't want it. It's simple, mate. It's simple.
But then you've been arguing for wanting something done for over a year. So you can't have it both.
The second best, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Councillor Haxby, and then...
And if you got his facts right, it wasn't the council that brought it here, it was Councillor Cockrell that brought it here as an original idea, not his council.
Yes.
So we didn't ask for it doing. Thank you.
Sorry,
And secondly,
you
I'd
wanted
like
it
to
doing.
write to the borough and find out who did make the decision, why they made the decision, and why the wishes of this council were ignored. It's quite a simple question.
Our members in
And then perhaps we'll get to the bottom.
Against? Abstainers?
Can I just suggest something? It's some years now since the Town Council signed the local parish council charter with Scarborough Borough Council. Perhaps it might be appropriate for members to have a look at that on the agenda next month and see if there's any ways that we can try and improve the communication between the Borough Council and the Town Council by reviewing the local council parish charter and because, look at whether the principles of that charter are still fit for purpose.
Well, we can do that. Yeah. But members want that letter to go through.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we'll move on. Agenda item 8, to receive items from previous minutes which may not require further discussion. A, if any, Gina?
No mistake.
Thank you. Moving swiftly on. 9, minutes to receive and if approved, to sign the minutes of the following and to make resolutions where necessary on the recommendations therein. A, ordinary council meeting held on the 11th of November 2015. A member to move the minutes, please. Do we all accept those? Thank you. B, property committee meeting held on the 12th of November 2015. Councillor Walker, please.
Yes, does members accept this as a true and correct record?
Thank you. Do we accept those?
Thank you.
C, planning committee meeting held on the 23rd of November 2015. Councillor Wilkie, please, to move the minutes.
Yeah, just put those forward as a true and correct record of the meeting.
Thank you. Do we all accept those?
Yep.
Thank you. D, Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting held on the 25th of November 2015. I'd like to move those as a true correct record. All in favour? Thank you. E, Property Committee meeting held on the 4th of December 2015. Councillor Walker again, please.
Most being circulated tonight.
Yeah. Move to true and correct record?
The members need time to go through that. You've just had it circulated. Do we you accept those minutes?
Yeah.
Thank you. F. Meeting held on the 7th of December 2015. That's again been circulated this evening, I believe. Councillor Wilk, please.
Yeah, if members are alright, move that as a true and correct record of the meeting.
Thank you.
Councillor.
Do you accept those?
Yep.
Agenda item 10, report of working party meetings. To receive and accept reports of the following meetings and to receive any recommendations thereon. A. Community and Police Group meeting held on the 18th of November 2015. I'd like to move those to the true correct record. Do we accept those?
Yes.
Thank you. B. Filey Town Guide meeting held on the 24th of November 2015. Councillor Wilkie to move the minutes please and make a recommendation thereon.
Yes, so move the minutes to the true and correct record.
Will accept those? Thank you.
So the recommendation to remain full council, a sum of £800 will be transferred from the town guide that reserved to the general fund for the part funding of the Christmas tree lights in Memorial Guard.
Thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie.
Listen, support that.
Any questions on that for Councillor Wilkie? I think it's most generous of the group. Yeah. If you'll take our thanks back to the group. Councillor Haxby,
I was
please.
going to say, I think our formal thanks should go to the group. It's not the only thing that contributes.
Absolutely.
The video projector being one and other items. So, you know, the lamp at the Queen Street, I think, you know, this group really deserves our sincerest thanks.
Will you take those thanks back to the group? Councillor Wilkie, please.
Would you like me to
Or
write
Councillor
anything
Casey.
else?
Thank you. Right, 11, finance. To receive and approve the schedule of payments for the following accounts. 1, General Fund, 12th to the 30th of November 2015. You all had a copy earlier. Are there any comments on those payments?
Mr. Chair, I'm glad that we've got the Keep Britain Tidy dog watching sign.
Yes,
Yeah.
Excuse me, but not today.
Lovely.
Do you all accept those payments?
Yeah.
Thank you. B. First to the 9th of December 2015. You've had a copy circulated this evening. I'll give you a minute or two. Councillor Meek.
5 commemorative seat plaques, are they for new seats or replacements?
New. Yes, it's the new seat in my garden that's gone in.
Any comments from members on those payments? Thank you. Do we all accept them? Thank you. Agenda item 12, reports from councillors on outside organisations. To receive and accept reports. Councillor Holdenbank,
Yes.
please.
Since I wrote this report, I have actually been to another meeting for Discover Filey, which was on Monday night. Unfortunately, I found Councillor Cotter came and saw me and answered my question regarding the Dragon Ring, which I could report back to them, which isn't going to be until mid-January now. So they will find out whether that's got planning permission for that. And if they have, they're going to go ahead pretty much straight away and get it erected, hopefully. There's new members, as you can see, the new officers, and the new chair is a gentleman called Paul Griffith. The secretary now is David Newbury. The financial officer remains Nick Butterworth. And Peter Crooks, Chris Elliott and Cass Wilkie are on the board. As I say, the new chair seems to be quite positive in moving the group forward to try and get some goals to work with for what they wish to achieve with Discover Filey, which is still being debated. what the full outcomes is. But there was a discussion about a restaurant which appears not to be happening now, but they are considering having an educational centre for groups of children to go, party size of classes of 30 each, and hopefully 2 units to be able to house both of these, and a small sort of canteen area that drinks can come into, and an area for art, people to go. But again, still going through applying for permissions to do several things, so until all that comes to fruition, there's not really an awful lot more to pass on about that, really. Apart from the fact there's been a little bit more of a unity there now than there was in the past. And I do believe that you've been introduced to Paul Griffiths, is that correct, by Eileen?
I haven't actually been,
Sorry.
I haven't actually been introduced, but I have written to him and introduced myself and said he'd be very welcome to bring any proposals back to the town council and suggest that he do so before,
Which I think, once they get themselves organised, is something that they probably would do, or would like to do. So that's with that one. And then with the Primrose Valley, we had a productive meeting, and first of all I need to apologise, I put Stuart Rose, and it's not, I've been corrected, and it's Rose, so I do apologise about that, and he's an officer of Councillor Cockle, so I've got that completely wrong there with Rose, so apologies there. So there was Kevin Hollenrake, Councillor Allington, Councillor Michelle Donoghue McLeaf, and Councillor Cockle, myself and Stuart Rowe, and the rest of the members that met there. It was a very windy, wet day, and we stood on the hill for considerable time discussing the hill. But the outcome of it all is, I've spoken to Kevin Hollenrake, is that he's opening a conversation with John Duxford from Fawn Leisure, and the conversation's been opened up, and they're both trying to negotiate a date that is convenient to them both for us all to meet again to see about the possibility of a new road going in.
Excellent. That would be good.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. So, but it's very, and as I say in here, that the residents are quite realistic, but still very hopeful that it might come to fruition. But I got the impression that everybody's working hard to try and get an outcome for these people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Can I just continue
it?
It further?
Finish and then I'll ask members for questions.
And then the only thing I'd like to bring forward as well, if I may, at this time, it is another outside thing, but I had a meeting today with Brian Thompson from Thompson Homes and with his director, Nick. Thank you. Yes. So they showed me around the build on Monday, and then they invited me to an informal meeting today, which I had with them. And I would like to be able to announce to you all that they are no longer putting a subway in the third unit there. That's not happening at all. That unit is now open for anybody else to wish to rent it from there. And as a matter of, I don't know what you'd quite like to put this in, but as a matter of trying to make amends or good measure, they are happy if it's happy with everybody else here to make the mend, oh no, wait a minute, let me get this right, to the Memorial Gardens for a like-for-like fence down the side, which is 43 metres, that they will pay for and put into place with the good side of the fencing facing Memorial Gardens.
That's excellent. Although that will have to go to Borough.
Yeah, but that's what we'd like to put forward, that we'd like to do, going through the correct motion.
Have they damaged the fence?
No, it's just the fence is just in a dreadful state seemingly, and they're happy to do that. They've blocked round the back of it. They have now, where there was the entrances out to the houses behind it, all now blocked up. So there only is one entrance in and one entrance out. I did ask about fire hazards, and I was informed, again, I don't know about this, I'd have to research it, but whatever square footage you have is what's necessary for you to have any certain amount of fire doors and exits available. They're the builders, so I'm presuming they've got the right information that they need, and we'll have to go through the correct channels to get that done. And regard the South Dean, there's 3 tennis courts going to be built, is that correct? Have I got that right? And one of the tennis courts is going to be open all the time to the public. It's the other 2 that are going to be locked, to have to ask to get keys from the lawn tennis. The other one's going to be open all the time. And I also asked him whilst I was at it if he was buying down on the seafront Aqua's house. I thought I'll have a good go whilst I've got him in. And he says he has been to look at it, and it's 50-50, haven't decided yet whether he's going for that or not.
Just what capacity were you there, Amy?
I was just in my capacity of Chamber of Trade.
Chamber of Trade.
nothing to do with the council.
Thank you.
And I didn't speak for the council or about the council.
Thank you. Councillor Haxby, please, and then
Just a couple of points. First,
Yes.
fact list. Did anybody approach Yorkshire Water? Because one of the big concerns was their heavy tankers going down to their pumping station on Flat Cliff.
Yorkshire Water are going to, Michelle, you were there, weren't you? Could you?
It was mentioned.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mayor,
But, you know, I've always been keen since we've had this discussion. It's just been going on for quite a few years to try and get Yorkshire Water involved, because they've got a vested interest, and this is what I've always said. But because I think there's also been the assumption that the residents should pay, and I think the answer is, can we find somebody who's got a corporate interest? We know who those people are. One of them is Born Leisure. It used to be the Bay at Filey, but apparently Born Leisure has bought the land, and of course that's Yorkshire Water. So that I would want to see that as part of that solution, to try and lean on their sort of corporate goodwill. They have an interest there, but they're going to have a pumping station, whatever happens. And, you know, to lose that road, we still have a problem. It is a shame, because previously the alternative route had been, the Bay had agreed to do it as part of one of their planning commissions, but unfortunately that has never come to fruition. So if Born Leisure, I'm not certain, but that's why we wanted Kevin to sort of make that approach, just as a bit more high level, to try and explain to them that they do benefit quite well out of this area in many ways. I don't think it would be a massive ask, perhaps, if they could do something. But yes, that is on the agenda.
Right, thank you, Michelle.
And secondly, I was asked by a member of the public the other day that there was a rumour circulating that the developers at the old police station didn't allow any room for dustbin. And there's a rumour that they're going to take some of the memorial gardens to store the dustbin in.
I know.
I don't know, I don't sit on planning, so I don't know.
Well, having spoken with them today and been around the site, the dustbins are going to be housed down the side of the old police station, and they're going to be put into a purpose-built unit which has got keys and it slides at the top, and each 3 units that are rented out will have the key to be able to get in and out. So it's down the right-hand side as you look at it. That's where they're being housed.
We'll find out that's what answer that.
Councillor Cockle, please.
Yeah, certainly any hint of taking any of the memorial gardens for an alternative purpose and alternative ownership would come to me, and that will be totally rejected. That is one decision I can take. I was invited to a meeting with Nick Brazier, who's the construction director of Constance. This was just after they withdrawn their application for Subway and the other catering units, and he wanted to talk to me about what would be acceptable and what wouldn't. And I said, well, you've got your retail units already, your planning permission, and just forget anything to do with catering. He did put forward 1 or 2 alternatives, all to do with catering, and I said, well, I'm not on planning, but I said, based on the strength of the report that was against catering provision there, I would recommend that you totally forget anything.
Well, I can possibly clarify that if what I've been told is correct today. Again, it's only just an informal meeting, but they are going to put back in for another 2 A3s.
We did talk about that.
Yeah,
I told him to forget it.
They're going to put back in the left-hand one is going to be the coffee shop that wants to sell food, which is a local person that wishes to take that one on. The middle one is going to be a ice cream parlour come steakhouse, and that's what definitely wants the A3. And the one on the right, which was going to be the Subway, is now available to it as a neighbouring retail unit.
The middle one that caused the problem.
That's the problem.
The A1 is the problem.
Councillor Wilkie, then Councillor Haxby.
Maybe I'm being a bit too cynical, missing the point here, but this information is great, but what capacity are these meetings being held under?
I was there as a borough councillor.
Right.
Do you mean my meeting today?
No, you sort of
Yeah.
said about your wrong. I wonder, there's all these meetings that the developers calling with people, and under what authority is it?
I think what you're trying to say is which cap has Councillor Cockrell got on at times. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, you could put it like that, I suppose.
All you got to
Well,
do is ask.
I speak with me.
All you got to do is ask, and I'll tell you.
Well, I'm just asking what capacity were you at the meeting with?
Borough council.
Councillor Haxby, did you?
No, it's just Ken Leafley and I were stood looking at it the other day, and there is a window in the middle section.
There is.
It seems to be a a server for outside sort of sales. We were just asking you what it was for.
Ice cream.
That was for the
So they haven't a clue.
That's what they said today. As I say, I mean, they were very pleasant, but I'm under no false illusions. You know, I'm just telling you what was said to me. I mean, how right it is is a different matter. But I mean, they are putting in the paper publicly about the no longer having Subway.
We only shoot with messengers on Sunday.
Aye.
Well, thank you for those reports.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors wishing to give any reports? Councillor Glanville, please.
Well, I must getting confused because, well, I must be, because I initially thought all what Filey people put through to the borough and what we as a planning committee was that there was to be no outlets for food or anything. So it's still going ahead with a coffee shop, and you say it's because somebody's got it that is a local. You said it's from...
Oh, it's not just because it's a local, it's just because that's what he wants to use it as a coffee shop. They're all, at the moment, just boarded out. There's nothing in there. I've been in them.
The idea was that we didn't... Yeah. And I thought that's what the people of Filey put on the website. They didn't want any more coffee shops, tea shops, ice cream parlours, and nothing. So, I'm sorry, I must be losing marbles because, you know,
well,
we don't want them.
This is what developers do, councillor.
You know, so...
So they'll bob it in on a quiet day and perhaps round about...
So we'll turn round and it's done.
Councillor Wilkie, please.
Although he's withdrawn that application...
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Sorry. Although he has withdrawn that application, he can submit another application which just changes that one unit.
And that's what it's doing.
And that's what it's going to. The fact still remains is put those walls up prior to getting any planning permission at all, because there weren't 3 units at all, so it's still in breach of that.
Yeah, the units that were subdivided, yes, that was done totally at their risk, and actually one of the tenants. But certainly in my conversations subsequent to my discussions I've had at the Borough Council, shall we say officers and senior members of the planning committee would take a lot of convincing that there was any scope whatsoever for any catering outlet in any of those units. I think they were led down the garden path a bit by somebody who was interested right from the start and then backed out. And then I think there's been, what can we do with this? And then people have come forward with the catering. And I think they captured a cold, basically.
The people that are having the middle unit is the gentleman who is the construction person.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially having it, who's supposedly spent his own personal money on it, is the construction site manager.
That's right. Just bring Councillor Wilkin and then
it's not
on the agenda this item.
I just wanted to say that it was nice to see the members of the public and the people of Filey objecting to this, as we've always asked them to do, and it's got results.
Right, thank you, Councillor. Right, are there any other councillors wishing to give reports? No, right, thank you. Thank you, Councillor. 13, North Yorkshire County Council, to note matters not previously reported or reported elsewhere in this agenda. To receive verbal and written reports from North Yorkshire County Council and stop for information. You've received report this evening. We'll just give them a minute, Sam, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, there's 2 reports actually. Are there any questions for Councillor Croft on this report?
Is this the first one or the second one we're talking about?
Well, we'll take the first one, or either, if Councillor Croft is happy to
Yeah, I'm rolling.
You ready, Sam? Good lad.
We've
Councillor Meek.
got one for segment when it comes up.
Well,
Go on
come on
then.
then. And then we'll move on.
Either or.
I take it that John did the second report,
Yeah.
and when I brought an item up, it looks John wasn't there, he had a more urgent appointment to deal with, that were down Scarborough Road, again the bus stop at the bottom, both road gullies was blocked, and you did make a note of it, but it's not on the report.
Well, I'll take that up with Paul.
Paul did say we're going to have something done about it.
I'll take that up with him, okay.
Councillor Wilkins.
Can I just mention a little bit of roadway outside the telephone exchange? On that side, right near that path. It's
On Cannon side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might have seen it already. I don't know whether you've seen it already.
Yeah, where it's cracking.
It's yeah.
Yeah. We think that's something to do when the road was dug up, when we did
For the drain.
the Yorkshire water drainage. Because if you look where the road was dug up, that's where it was.
Yeah. And also your second report here, lamppost number 1, is it lit or not?
Which one was that?
You got your report, Sam.
Do you know how many lampposts we looked at?
As you go over the bridge, turn left up to Church found a lamppost there.
Don't stop.
It was council moved that asked whether it was lit or not.
Is it lit or not?
No, it's not. It's not. And we're looking into it because it's a footpath, going back. Yeah.
Councillor Meek again, please.
Yeah, I'll call it point number 2, on report 2.
Yeah.
Station Road near Pelican Lights. Near, it's on the Pelican where the pedestrians cross. Anyone stood there after it's been raining
Yeah.
get absolutely soaked.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the drain not being blocked. The road
pits. Yeah.
So the drain has nothing to do with it.
Also my house.
Yeah. That's at the other side of the road.
Councillor Shaw, please.
Past the bridge towards Churchley Farm, no fencing to stop falling. I walk along there regularly, and it is a dangerous area, especially at night. If you do sort of come off that path, it's a long way down, and a lady a few years ago fell down there and had multiple injuries.
Oh, well that is an interesting point. I can take up that with the highways officers, because as you walk down it, there's the wooden fencing to the right hand side.
That's right.
And the wooden fencing should be to the left hand side, because that's where it is. That's what I would ask you, for them to put some fencing.
It really does need it.
The highway officers know about that, so it's up to them to put in the work programme.
Councillor Casey and Councillor Hatch.
Well, just on that point there, Councillor Cross, if you remember Paul pointed out at the time that they'd had a claim, and the claim had been successful, so they felt no need to re-fence it. I'm sure that's what he said before I left the water. He said there'd been a claim and it hadn't been successful. That's correct.
So that's the end report.
We know what's in the report, yeah.
She lives on Arndale Way. I don't know. She's an elderly lady, and she stepped aside because a family were coming along with a pram. And she stepped aside, lost her balance, and fell right down, and she was in hospital for a long time.
I'll take that up.
Thank you, Sam. Councillor Haxby, please.
I mean, to be fair though, if you look at the number of footpaths that are not fenced, there's the one from the church down to Church Ravine that we used to sledge down through Yorkshire bumps and all sorts. There's the steps through the phone box at the bottom of Church Ravine. There's the footpaths up Arndale. None of them are fenced. I mean, we can go overboard. And the problem is, the more you push it, the more you end up with steel fences that looks awful. Where do you stop? Or where do you start? People have got to realise that, certain footpaths, you've got to take care of them. With all due respect to old ladies, and that's, I walk the pram up there every other day. you know, you've got to be careful, that's all. Do we demand a fence on every path?
She steps aside and has to balance.
I think one of my feelings when I walked across it, John, was that I thought it was dangerous, you know what I mean? It's, you know, a lot of people use it going home to that estate on the night and during the day, and I would assume it'd be brought to their attention and they say they're not going to do anything about it, and then...
Oh, appreciate it,
yeah,
Sam,
then,
but,
you know,
then it'll be the next path and the next path and the next path. You end up with Filey just being a fence off. You know, as long as the path's in good state of repair, it's fairly level,
yeah,
and wide enough, then, you know, what obligations do you have, you know?
Councillor Casey and Councillor Meek, please.
Well, the location we're talking about is where lamp post 1 is. If lamp post 1 were turned on, then it would be less of a hazard.
yeah.
Councillor Meek, please.
Same point.
Same point, yeah. Just one thing I'd like to sort of finish my report on a positive note. I was talking about my visit to the top school.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, I know it's had its problems in the past, the top school, and I've been up there, and I think anybody visiting would find it was a much different place, much improved. There's a more positive attitude to the children, there's a more positive attitude with the staff, and I think the thing that I've said in this chamber many times, children have Filey only have one school to go to, and you know that should be the top school. And what annoys me every morning when I'm driving to my work and I'm driving to Malton or wherever, and I see that there's a bus at Mill Meadows picking children up after they've picked them up in the town centre, and then it goes to Muston and picks them up, Flixton, and those children should be going to Filey School, and it's one of my intentions to sort of monitor the school and keep on and make sure that is a good school for our children. And you know, I think we all should be positive about it. The children are helping the Lions do this weekend, they're helping and serving at the over 85 Christmas party that we have, and so I'm very pleased that they're actually involved, and let's promote the school, because children and grandchildren will go there, so really just go from there sort of thing to some positive note. One final thing is, as a councillor I get these come through my door. First, the magazine of local government, and I get two of them. I get one of a Scarborough and one of an NYCC, so I'm going to pass them in the office, so when you're doing your meetings, if you want to kill a bit of time.
Some bedtime reading.
Some bedtime reading.
Yeah, just one point, Councillor Cross, the water problem down bottom of Churchill Lane. Has there been any action taken on that? Well, it's halfway across the road most days.
Yeah.
Opposite the toilets.
Down there, other way, so bad work.
No, I reported, I mentioned it to you on the water bill.
Yeah.
The other day it was well over 3/4.
I'll mention that to Paul, I'll put that down.
Well, you spoke to me about it.
Yeah, can I? Yeah. Through you, Chair. The same day as Jessica came and did the Queen Street gully, it also did the one on Church Ravine and cleared it. So that shouldn't happen.
I was going to say an hour down there and it was bad, it wasn't so bad the other day.
No, it should have cleared it now.
But looking, Sam, the grade is higher than the...
Yeah, I know where it is, yeah.
Could do with relaying there.
Fully there before question.
Yeah. Right, any other questions for Councillor Cross? Gina?
Yeah, just to make members aware, Councillor Cross and myself have had constant discussions over the last month regarding getting a response for the replacement sets for Crescent Hill, and I'm sure Councillor Cross will want to comment on that. We had hoped that a response would be here for tonight's meeting from Mr. Marr, but
yes.
Today I haven't received anything. I don't know whether you have, County.
No, I've had no reply. I've asked Richard Marr to contact, because there's two things that I think are rightfully important that we actually get set out. One is we get whatever we do with the Crescent sets and get the correct sets on there that everybody is happy. I'm still waiting for a trial sample, and once we get a trial sample, hopefully I've been promised of going back of the wagon and then be brought to Crescent Hill and we will see what it is, but as yet that has not happened. He told me, Richard Mann, my last conversation with him the other day, you know, he's still planning on having it done for April. I said, it's pointless, you know, we'll get the sets. I said, before you get the sets, Filey Town Council want to see the sets, you know, and that's, you know, the most important thing. The money's still there in the budget, and I am pushing him to get an answer on the sets. And the other thing that annoys most people, they go down, can't get ill every day, and there's parking and all that sort of thing. And the worst thing is, and I'm hoping to see Chris Gosling tonight, the first here the policeman, you know what I mean, that really wants moving, so unfortunately he's not here.
With a big yellow 4x4.
And a big yellow 4x4, yeah. The Tonka truck. So I'll make a point with Chris going round and seeing it.
I just want to bring a point up, this council did say 2 meetings ago that if we didn't get a response from Richard Marr, we would write to the Chief Executive Clinton on this matter. So I think it's time that we
I haven't taken that option up yet.
No,
because
we're waiting.
Councillor Cross has worked really hard
I
on trying to
appreciate
get
that,
a response.
yeah.
And I was hopeful to get one for tonight, but if
Yeah,
you want me to write to
what the members feel.
I
I mean, we did say that we'd wait.
Yeah.
I think we've waited sufficient time. Well, in favour of that letter going now.
Chair, could I suggest you give Councillor Cross a chance, maybe till this time next week, and if we haven't received something, then send a letter, just to be fair.
Well, yeah.
How long have we been trying?
Well, it sounds as though progress is being made, hopefully, so I think you have to be fair.
Councillor Cottrell, it's up to members how they want to proceed on this. So can we have a show of hands?
Can I just say something? Yeah, I think that might be right course of action, what Councillor Cockrell said. Let's say we get an answer from Richard Marr, it can all be fired round it on email, and if you're not happy with that, you know what I mean, write to the Chief Executive next week.
Right, well, can we make a decision now then, this evening, that if we don't hear within 7 working days, this letter goes on?
Close of play a week today.
7 working days?
No, I don't work. Do you work weekends?
Well, no, but 7 working days. Well,
no,
close
week today.
So 5 working days.
5 working days. So members happy with that? That letter goes.
Is that everybody happy with that?
Jackie?
No, I think we should write. I think we've waited a long time, and I think we procrastinate an awful
Well,
lot.
those against that then?
Could I just,
Thank you.
say, no disrespect to Sam, Richard Marr came here and promised he'd got a new sidekick, was going to the reclaim yards. Well, it's not Sam, somebody's dragging their feet somewhere and not responding to Sam and keeping her in the loop. So it's not Sam's fault. The main man, Richard Marr, and I know there's people above him, know what they should be doing. And should be replying to Sam and keeping him in. So I think that letter should definitely go.
Well, can we have a clear show of hands then on members who wish to wait 5 clear working days before the letter goes? Can we have a clean show of hands?
Can we have a clear show of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And those against that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against. So that's carried.
That's carried then. 5 working days and then the letter goes. Okay.
Thank you for that. No, that's fine.
Right, well, thank you for your report, Sam.
Thank you.
Please stay there, you may be asked.
Yeah, might be asked on some.
B, NYCC Minerals and Waste Joint Plan. Preferred options consultation between November 15 and January 16 to receive letter and information consultation thereon. Gina?
Yes, this council plan is out to consultation and responses will be submitted before the 15th of January next year. To go into a further draft plan in June 2016, and then if approved it's submitted to the Secretary of State with an anticipated adoption of March 17. The preferred option for the Scarborough area is to retain the existing recycling site at Seamer Car, which has current permissions until 2020. And land waste will go to Alton Waste Recovery Park, I believe thereafter. I've also provided you with a copy of the Borough Council's response for you to read their comments, and they seem to have supported the preferred option of the WJ215 theme park.
Are there any comments from members? Councillor Cockrell, please.
Yeah, just declared interest, Chair, as my son is Finance Director at James Stockdale.
Thank you. I think there's only Steve McCall that really affects Filey anyway. There's no changes there, is there? Any further comments from members? Have you anything to add on that, Sam?
No.
No? Right, thank you. Moving on then. C, NYCC, Prohibition of Waiting, Unloading and Provision of Parking Order 2007. To receive proposed traffic order for Mitford Street, south west side, Filey, to change seasonal single yellow line to year-round double yellow lines. I think this is something that we've discussed before, isn't it? This?
Yeah, it's for the council group vehicles so that they can access Mitford Street from Hope Street.
Well, that's self-explanatory. Any comments on that? Are all okay? Thank you. Right, well, thank you for your report. You may as well stay there. 14, Scarborough Borough Council to note matters not previously reported or reported elsewhere in this agenda. A, to receive verbal and written reports from Borough Ward councillors present for information. You've no report, Sam, but have you anything to?
No, nothing further to add, Chair. I think we've had an interesting discussion on what happens at Scarborough Borough Council tonight.
Right, thank you. Councillor Cockrell, please. You've all got Councillor Cockrell's report.
Any queries on that? And do you wish to be involved with the big thank you?
I'm not quite sure what a big thank you is.
It's, I suppose it's a competition.
Right.
Organised between the Scarborough News and the Borough Council to recognise good work that's done, community work, and there's different categories. It's been going for quite a few years now.
Oh, thank you.
Is it every year, Councillor Cockrell?
Yeah.
The man only attends, don't they?
No, I've never had any invite. I don't know where Councillor Walker has.
Just say through the attendance down there.
I've never had an invite.
Maybe it's because I haven't been asked to organise it in Filey that you're getting an invite.
Right, thank you.
Or, if you wish,
Is it going to be held in Filey?
there will be a launch in Filey, same as there will be in Scarborough and Whitby.
Right.
And then the actual presentation, 90s at the Spa at Scarborough in April.
Well, I'd be quite happy to be involved. Are there any other members that wish?
It's mainly a photo opportunity here, 5 minutes. I don't envisage it being more than that.
That's okay, thank you.
In addition,
Mike, can I just interrupt you there? You know, thinking about the big thank you.
I do have a list, Stan.
Oh, do you have a list?
Yes, I do. You want to carry on now?
You know, well, at least not mine. No, one of the persons that I think would be worthwhile, and I hope you're watching on live as it is. John Sellers, you know, he's done some excellent work as a gardener. He does the Filey show group. He's still involved in Filey. He's involved in Lions. And anywhere I go, I seem to see John working in some voluntary capacity. It might already be on your list, Chair, but it's just one person that came to mind.
No, I mean a list of who's wanting to ask questions.
Oh, sorry.
People put their hands up, don't you would have bothered the train too.
There was something that's gone over your tongue.
there was an application form in the paper a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure they will be publishing it again. And anybody can nominate anybody, provided they fit the criteria. There will be a judging panel sometime in March, I think it's going to be.
Right, thank you, Councillor. Right, Councillor Wilkie, it's your turn.
I forgot what I was going to say. No, I was just going to ask about this bylaw for the cobble landing. Is that quite a complex thing, or is it just out of date, or is it, you know, for enforcing some of these things? And without getting into too much of it.
In my opinion, the current bylaw is totally unenforceable. If you did enforce it, nothing apart from council vehicles would be allowed on the beach, which we don't want. You know, that would stop anybody launching, because the only thing that you can launch are cobbles with a tractor, and there's no cobbles.
And the point of getting these things changed is
Yes, and it does take a long time and very expensive, so I am told. But the legal side are working on this, trying to make the best. It's a very difficult one from a practical point of view, because there's not only those that park down there, but there's those that go onto the corner bridge, you know, digging worms.
Councillor Mead, please.
Paragraph 2, parking order. So really what you're saying is, you can't give them a parking ticket for being down there, you can only do it for trespass.
On the beach?
Yeah, on the beach. So what is the percentage of people get done for trespass?
We were at a meeting last week and we were told that I think it was 14 tickets had been given out.
Yeah, they may be
so
giving,
I don't know what the percentage is.
they may be giving tickets out, but that doesn't mean that they're going to prosecute them.
No, the idea is to, try and educate people, you know, a letter first, and then only persistent offenders would be, you know, considered for taking to court.
Now, I just think it may turn out to be a waste of money, because the amount of people that do just for trespass, it's waste of time.
You can argue it's a waste of time, but there is a lot of concern about the safety, in particular kiddies, during the summer, and that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but it's a matter of how they can actually prosecute on the trespassing. I know you're trying to deter them from going down there.
Hopefully, the answer will be none. That they'd learn and be educated, but pigs might fly as well.
Yeah.
Councillor Banks, please, and then Councillor Casey.
Thank you. I would just like to ask Councillor Coppell, if the Cabinet, was this the informal walkabout that we were going to do or not?
Yes.
And is there going to be a report on what was said on that? Is that not actually happening now? But they saw everything that we wished for them to do.
These informal meetings are really for each Cabinet member to share with the others what work we're ongoing, and when we have them in a particular area. Like I updated a lot of the Filey things, and really it's an opportunity to chivvy some
so
of the
they've been
others.
in the scene, they've done what they said they would do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Casey, please.
I was going back to the trespassing issue, which is quite an interesting thing to look at, I think, really. Legal around to something there. It's a lot easier to do somebody for trespassing in a civil, in a county court, because the burden of proof is less than in a criminal court, of course. And Councillor Mead said how many will be prosecuted. I would imagine very few, because you only need one or two to make an example of. And the word spreads like wildfire, doesn't it?
That's what
You've got to make sure that somebody's there to give the warnings out initially so you can build up the case.
But I can't overstress that we need the evidence, and ideally the photographic evidence.
Well, are we going to get some of these forms, these incident forms, so we can turn them in ourselves? Yeah, okay.
Councillor Hatchie, please.
No, in my tribe, we discussed it at the Trouble Landing Users Group last week. It is very complex. And as you say, you don't want to stop people using the beach for legitimate boat launching and this sort of thing. It's when they're parking halfway along between Cobble Landing and Arndale, with trailers and 4x4s, and the guy takes his light down onto the brick corner to go crabbing and worming because he can't be asked to walk on there. These are the problems, because they then attract other people, because if they get away with it, they think, well, how should I get away with it? And it escalates. You know, as I said earlier, at the meeting, you don't find it in Scarborough. You never ever see a car on Scarborough South Bay Beach. Now, they've either been well educated to not park there, or they're enforced even better than ours are. But we've got to start somewhere, and that start is getting evidence. And once we've got that, hopefully, next year we can build these cases up. Because the unfortunate thing is, most of the cars are either regulars or locals.
Yeah.
You know, they are quite regular users of the beach. So I think you only need to get one or two of them, and the word will spread, and hopefully that will put a damper on it. But so time will tell.
Any further questions for Councillor Cockrell?
I'll give you a verbal update now. This won't take very long. At the co-landing consultative group meeting last week, members were asked for their views on the value of the part-time attendance that was employed during the season. Overall, it was felt that this presence had been worthwhile. The area had been tidier, and there had been a degree of improvement in the level of discipline with some, but not all, day launching of boats. And it's a hope that the Borough Council will be able to continue the same level of funding for 2016. And I would ask that the Town Council give this consideration during its own budget discussions. One suggestion from the consultative group being that the attendant covered the bank holidays earlier in the year, and if necessary, the period of employment finished earlier than mid-September. A member of the consultative group offered to assist in identifying persistent individuals ignored by law and continue to park on the beach. The consultative group decided that the present makeup is appropriate and allows all associated cobble landing to have a route to raise matters and express opinions. It was agreed that the Harbour Master would prepare a draft terms of reference for circulation prior to the next meeting. And a similar document has already been prepared for groups at Scarborough and Whitby. If you've got anything to add, John?
No, I mean, I did voice John's opinion on the attendant, and I was a sort of lone voice, people did feel they'd done a reasonable job. However, what concerned me was, I think, the figures we normally charge 22 boats over the season or something.
30, I think. Was it 30?
Well,
yeah,
in the lower tins, which, you know, seemed to me to be rather low, but, you know, he's hardly paying his wages at that, and I thought maybe that could have been improved, but he does clean, apparently, and, you know...
I don't think anybody said that it was perfect, but it was a start in the right direction. And as regards the number of boats, yeah, and I think, to be fair, I think it did suffer some abuse, particularly from some people from Hull, and it did tend to frighten me, quite honestly.
I think a concern of mine, sorry.
No, because the unfortunate thing is that there was only one applicant for the job. So, you know, you're between a rock and a hard place. You either don't fill it, or you fill it with somebody that you don't really know.
And I'm going to leave he's got another job now.
And yes, he did do some cleaning up. And I think the coal landing was tidier this year than it perhaps has been in previous years. Maybe not as good as it could have been, but it was cleaner.
I feel that there should be more of an authoritative person doing that job. You know, who can sort of stand his ground a lot more with people than he could.
It's difficult. I suppose it depends what is being told or how far it will go. Councillor Wilkin, I'd like to bring Gina.
My comment was on similar lines. The effectiveness of that sort of position is dependent on the person that's doing the job. Some are going to fall under sort of pressure, and others will stand up to people. So you're in the lap of the gods, really, aren't you? You know, it's difficult. I mean, I myself would, if someone was abusing me, which it's still, you know, these days you just don't know what's going to happen.
The job description and the person spec did come to the town council to approve before, you know, so you did know what that person was expecting, the duties they were expected to undertake. What I would just like to ask Councillor Cockrell, are the borough looking for the same month's donation to this person's employment, like the town council made last year? Is it 1 month?
Yeah. We haven't discussed it in detail, just generally, and I would say we'll be looking at the same kind of contribution from both sides.
Right.
But I say, with that suggestion from the consultative group that the holiday weekends earlier in the year be covered, and sacrificing some later on in early September.
I think what was a great concern to me, Councillor Cockrell, was a gentleman that refused to pay, turned around and sped down the slipper at Herring Hill and
Yes.
raced across the beach.
Yeah.
You know, guys like this won't
Yeah.
stop him from coming
Yeah.
in the road
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
full stop.
Yeah.
But, you know, how can you control that? This guy's saying, you know, I want a fiver off you or you
Yeah.
don't launch him.
Yeah.
And this idiot just
Yeah.
spun round and
Yeah.
sped off down Herring Hill.
Apart from putting a barrier across the top of Herring Hill, I don't know how you'd stop it, quite honestly.
I mean, that's more dangerous than
Yes.
going the
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
I think in that case, if they refuse to pay, it's better to give them access.
It's always, a lot of them, it's a judgment call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Councillor Cross, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think the interesting thing is you've all probably got the Scarborough and you've seen the traffic wardens now, they've got the little cameras.
Yes.
You know, maybe the guy should have one of them on.
Yeah.
And then he will be aware of what is actually going on, either recording, we can see him eating his sandwiches or whatever is going, but the most important thing, people will see that it is being recorded straight away and they won't have the instant, if he is found out of you, will be recorded, and same again, if nobody pays, you know, just watches the camera.
That's an excellent suggestion. And it safeguards whoever does it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'll take it forward.
Councillor Wilkie.
And of course, those people that do go off will be getting reported in the normal way that some did before.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much. Councillor Walker, please.
Yeah, is there any area where the tractors or Land Rovers that take launch down there being provided from parking?
Well,
Because
as I said in there, what I'm looking at, I raised it at the meeting, and we're taking it away to look at the practicality, is designating a small area just below the shallows,
right,
where it, you know,
can be fenced off or parish fenced
well, no,
off or
no,
something like
I'm not going to argue, we just mark it out.
Right.
Because, but then it's a case, you know, we're still strapped for space. That, you know, there's sometimes the salmon boats go over there, and it's working out as practical. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
I think most people thought it was worthwhile looking at and seeing, you know, if we can come up with a practical solution, but using that basic principle.
Yeah, because don't forget you've got your fishing festival where there's quite a few boats down there.
Yeah.
And you've also got your yacht club as well. When they have their gala, wherever it is, they leave a lot of little trail things on the beach, like, you know, as well. And not only that, what about the bay? They've got an access onto the beach as well, look at that thing. And there's a lot of people from up there as well. I mean, you can't just do it for one little area. You've got to do it for the lot if you're going to do it.
Well, I think we will concentrate on coal landing. Other areas in relation to coal landing are a very small percentage. And whilst not saying that, you know, in an ideal world we'd do something, I think from a practical and financial point of view, we just have to restrict it to coal landing.
And the other thing was, I always believed, and I've been told by quite a few people, that the beach actually belongs to the Crown. So how can Scarborough Council enforce anything on the beach?
Because they've got the bylaw.
That means nothing, that bylaw.
I'm sorry, it does, because the bylaw has to go to Westminster and be approved at Westminster.
Again, because it's overrun its time.
No, it
hasn't been in situ.
No, it is in situ.
There's no notices up.
It has been in situ since 1904 and amended in 1935, I think it was. So it is there. I mean, as lads, we used to know you couldn't take a vehicle on the beach. But the enforcement, and it was a different ballgame then. There weren't as many vehicles. Different ballgame. But alright, you can throw money at it and you could enforce it, but I would suggest it would be totally inviable.
Well,
You happy with that, Councillor Walker?
yeah, I am.
Councillor Mead, please.
Mike said about designating an area. Well, if I recall, the fishermen I don't know if they're brick fishermen or the ones that pay. I think they said paid £400 a year. And that's what they was putting forward.
We have an agreement, a process, whatever you want to call it, with the Boat Angling Club, where they have 6 permits, which covers the whole club, and they administer it themselves and dish it out. And this is all part of the very complicated jigsaw pattern, if you want it. And we're going to have to try different things. I'm not saying we'll get it perfect first time or second time, but we're going to try.
Yeah, what they said, what they would like to see, just like being saying, at the bottom of after the shallows, have an area cordoned off where they could park their trailers or have you. And now it's straight and said again.
Yeah.
Same thing, they suggested it.
Yeah. But it's the practicalities, because there's so many different uses on Cobberland and there's a lack of space.
Councillor Haxby, please.
I appreciate what Jeff's saying, but the Boat Angling Club have what, 10, 12, 14 members regular. There's no way down there you can store 14 trailers and cars. No way at all. And the fact is, at the end of the day, we're called Filey for the family. Not Filey for the boat angler that wants to come and park his car free on the beach. We've got it's safety first. And we're all too well aware of that. It's safety. And it's children we've got to look for. Else we lose this reputation of being for the family. We've got to maintain that and keep that's our bread and butter.
Absolutely. When I have discussed this idea with people like Mrs. Horner, who came along, and other people, and they all thought, all right, it was a step in the right direction, and hopefully it can be made to work. Time will tell. We've got to work through it.
Okay. Is that your update?
Yes.
Councillor Cockle? Any further questions? Well, thank you for those reports, Councillor Cockle. Michelle, would you like to report on anything?
I don't think there's much to add, just to say the toilets at Humby Gap are still scheduled to be repaired until the early new year, although keeping an eye on that one. And that's when then it would be envisaged that they would transfer over to the cafe, but that is what we're working towards.
Thank you. Any questions from Michelle? Right, thanks for that, Michelle. Borough Councillor Colin Harrington, I believe he's contacted the office. There is nothing of significance to report this month.
No.
I'd just like to ask members, I don't know if you've heard about the proposed increase in parking charges throughout the borough. Any comments from members on that?
Discussion. It'll be on the agenda next month, but it is going before the Cabinet on the 15th. I have sent the borough report out to all members, so you are aware of the proposed increases in car parking charges and the winter car parking that's being brought in.
My only comment would be if the charges go too much, then it will just push the cars into the streets. We'll just park down, on Morgan Drive if it's under a car park and everywhere else, just push them onto the streets. We've always got a problem with people just parking everywhere. And anywhere.
Well, if these proposed charges come in, particularly the winter ones, anybody walking a dog now at Country Park, they'll have to pay £1 for 10 minutes walk.
Well, it's just a pure money making racket, that isn't it?
Well,
it's winter charges.
Well, they are strapped for money, Councillor Haxby, please.
It is a racket. If the town saw any benefit from it, I would be inclined to be able to support it in some way in principle. But all the money's going, we all know where, to subsidise all the borough's money-losing ventures like the OAT, the Spa, etc. It doesn't come back into the town. We've already seen the congestion around Wooldale, Fir Tree Drive, along Church Cliff Drive, the parking in that Farmer's Gate Hole, the parking anywhere but where they have to pay. As Kevin said, you get it down West Avenue, and I'd hate to live down West Avenue. I certainly would. Anybody that lives down there must have the patience of Job looking for a parking spot on a night. And this is what you do, and you're deterring people from coming to the town. I mean, having been in Glen Gardens for the last 3 or 4 seasons, the number of people that complain about the parking charges already, and having to run back to get, you know, the 4 hours worth before it runs out, etc., etc. It's phenomenal. We are quite expensive. Yet we're still paying the highest council tax in the land. You know, I just can't understand how the borough can be making all this money out of Country Park, and everything they do is supposedly making money, yet we're paying this phenomenal amount of council tax. You know, Westminster and Chelsea, and you know, where does it come about? Everything they do, so yes, well, all this amount of money comes into the borough. It doesn't benefit us as taxpayers, not one iota. And that's not to mention the bloody bike race that isn't coming anymore. You know, another 150,000 that brings all these millions into the area. If it does that, why isn't my council tax going down?
Well, it is on the agenda for next week.
Yeah.
I would just point out that it will be a council decision. It goes to council, doesn't just to cabinet.
Right, moving swiftly on then. B, the old conference hall Filey to receive email correspondence from Mr M. Pedley for consideration thereof. I think you've all had a copy. You see there's been various emails flying between Gina.
Yeah, I've got another one tonight.
Oh, right, oh well, we've got some more then. Right, Gina?
Yes, so you've seen the correspondence that I've had between Mr. Pedley and the questions that I've asked him. And I've received an email from him this afternoon. Sorry for the delay in responding. Hello, Gina. The Borough Council is at an early stage on exploring the potential opportunity, and as evaluation would be dependent upon the nature of any permitted development, particularly in terms of scope and mass, etc. Such evaluation has not yet been conducted. Any capital receipt that may be generated from the development of this site could not be ring-fenced for the enhancement of sports provision in Filey. Kind regards, Martin Pedley.
Just going into the big pot there.
What more do you expect?
Just another piece of land that we're losing in Filey. I've got Councillor Haxby and Councillor Wilkie and Councillor Shaw.
I mean, this is circulating the town. Alex got around because I was approached the other day about it. So it's common knowledge. How much more family silver have we got left to flow? You know, our cupboards are gradually running quite bare, and we've seen no benefits yet from all this stuff that's been flowed. But I was approached by Glenn Daniels, who was the old scoutmaster, and there's a bit of grief because he's had a look round and he is of the opinion that there isn't that much vandalism, it's more falling into disrepair. It's not vandalism, it's actually falling to bits. Now, many moons ago he wanted to reinstate the scouts, and I think the Borough Council put such tight parameters on his lease, such as full repair when the building was falling to bits and this sort of thing, but it was just untenable. But he did an awful lot of work down there in the past, made it watertight and kept the fabric of the building up to some decent level, if not good. It was habitable. You know, the kids used to like it, and then the scouts obviously fell by the wayside, but it was going to be reinstated, and there's a lot of people wanting to put money into putting stores there and equipment for all the groups and fire, etc., etc. But I say the borough were very sort of anti it, according to Glenn, and he's very upset about this. But you know, I don't know what we can do. It's put in for an asset transfer.
It is only for information only at the moment.
Yeah. Let's look at an asset transfer. It won't end up as flats.
Oh, yeah.
It can get bulldozed down and our well-known developer will buy it and it'll end up as flats.
Councillor Wilkie, please.
I was just going to inquire, and probably what's the extent of the property? Is it the brick building Is it the old Scout Hut, not all that brick building as well?
Scout up well, I don't know whether it's brick or
The
not.
grass on the side?
The grass up to the cliff edge and back to the Ford's, the old car park party wall.
Yeah, so
And then up north up to, well, where there's a wall.
So it's quite a fair
It's a fair chunk. It's a fair chunk. Yeah.
Councillor Shaw, please.
As a council, I don't think that we dig our heels in enough with Scarborough Council with big issues. I don't think we're sort of strong enough a lot of the time. We accept things too easily instead of really causing riot about things that we should really do. You know, there are important issues here, and a lot of the time we say things in council, but nothing is really done to let them really know that we just aren't prepared to accept it.
Okay, well, I think as a council we're quite proactive, certainly against the borough with what they do. But as you've heard this evening on several issues, Councillor Shaw, whatever we decide, they just do as they want.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
we
the unfortunate
should
part.
dig our heels in and really go back at them.
Councillor Cockle's admitted this evening, we can say what we want, but would we get it done? No. Councillor Cockle, did you have your hand up?
Yes, regards the use that the buildings have been put to in the past, the information I have is that when it was leased out to the Scouts, it was on a full repairing lease, so the responsibility for any work was down to the Scouts. Having said that, some years ago, before I was a borough councillor, I did manage to negotiate for the borough council to do a bit of work on trying to make it weatherproof. Fully hear what Councillor Shaw says, but what I would suggest is, rather than just say, no, we don't want it, come up with ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Councillor Wilkie, please.
I just wanted to disagree with Councillor Shaw completely. I don't accept that at all. Sorry.
Right, thank you. Councillor Cross.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, really, I'm just reading this and I had that it's up for something to happen with. I think what Councillor Haspy's saying, you know, the community asset transfer, I think it's brilliant. As you know, this is very close to my home. There has been no incidents of vandalism. The little orgs don't go near my place, and they know why, over recent years. And you know, so there's been no vandalism, you know what I mean, it's been, you know, left to disrepair, and if you leave an empty building and do nothing to it, it will fall into disrepair. It's very common. So it will deteriorate if you do nothing with it, and that's one of the purposes, you know, you leave a building, it deteriorates. We almost saw that with the police station, and what happened there. You know, it's in poor state of repair and nobody wants it, you know what I mean, let's knock it down. And really, I know Councillor Casey had a piece in the paper about antisocial behaviour. Well, it should be used as a community asset. It should be given the kids something to do. And that's, you know, the problem we've said time and time for 10, 11 years that I've been in this council chamber, it's something for the children to do. There is a building there that should be a community asset like it was before, used by the Scouts. So, you know, proceed and ask the borough what they want for it and get someone to ascertain whatever.
Councillor Wilkie, did you want to come back?
No.
Are you making a proposal to that then, Councillor Haspy, that
I think he is.
for sure?
Seriously consider it, yeah. As Councillor Cross has said, we're here time after time after time that the children need something to do. Chris Goslin stood over there and said the kids need something to do other than stand on street corners or sitting in the shelter at the Rose Garden doing whatever they do. They need something within the town. We need a facility for the kids, for the community, to go and enjoy, like the conference all used to do. There's everything from weddings to God knows what in there, dances, it's a valuable piece of land. You know, which is more valuable to Filey than I'm sure it is to the borough.
So is this another asset of value, you know, community value?
I certainly think so, yeah.
Declaration.
Do you want to nominate that one as well?
Yeah.
Do you want to go and see if you can have a look round the building and have a look at what sort of state of repair it's in?
If we do it, the town's going to be rich and we'll have nothing left of it.
So what are you proposing, Councillor? that we fill another form out for the
As well as,
community value
as
nomination?
well as for the other assembly.
Keep that for a building for young people to use.
Young people and community use.
Yeah, community.
Councillor Cockle.
Yeah, no problem with getting you shown round. I can soon arrange that. What I would urge is a bit of caution on the community asset transfer application until you've seen it and you've come up with some firm ideas. Because otherwise, I would suggest that it'll just get thrown back at you. What do you want to use it for?
Well, this would be justified as nomination form, Councillor Cockle.
Even so, they want, some idea. The panel, and alright, I sit on the panel, they'll want to know some idea, not every little detail, but some basic idea.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll just get thrown back.
Yeah.
Well, Councillor Haxby's made a proposal. Is there a seconder for that proposal? Is there an amendment to that proposal? Is that your amendment, Councillor Cockle?
I'm declaring, I'm just trying to guide.
That was a proposal and a seconder. Are we all in favour of that? Anyone against?
So that's to register the...
There's going to be a lot of paperwork playing this out, Gina. Right, well, thank you, members, for that. Thank you, Councillor Croft. Councillor Cockle. Not finished yet. We see Council recruiting for Sports Development Group to receive SBC media release for information. Receive self-explanatory for information only.
Four applications have been received for 3 positions, and meetings will be taking place, well, the preliminary meeting next week to discuss the way forward.
Is there still time for applications to go in?
No. Closed last week.
I don't understand why this is on the on our agenda then, if it closed last week.
No, it's just
For information
a
only.
media release.
Right, okay. Right, well, thank you, Councillor Cockle. 15, local member of parliament. Advice surgery. Receive information regarding forthcoming advice surgery with Kevin Hollingray MP. Again, that's all should make self-explanatory.
Could I just please everybody in further that Robert Goodwin's been promoted as a miniature estate, so Merry Christmas.
Well, thankfully Scarborough MP's not Filey. B, British Heart Foundation. I think this has come from Kevin also. To receive information via Kevin Hollingray MP regarding funding for defibrillators and consideration thereon. Some more information, Jean, on that?
Yes, I just wondered if members would want to consider applying for this funding for a defibrillator. For this building, we do get, high turnover of people using this for council offices. Lots of volunteers coming in. Whether you thought that would be, a good thing to offer for the community. The town council will have to bear the brunt of the funding and for training of staff and for councillors, and it doesn't cover replacement defibrillators. Whether we'd be successful or not, I don't know, but we could.
But if you don't apply,
if you would like me to try,
Councillor Woodmore.
I think this is an excellent idea, considering the number of elderly people we've got in our population and the higher risk of heart disease these days. I think we can only offer another service, so I say go for it.
Yeah, my heart's been going a bit this year. Councillor Haxton and Councillor Casey, please.
I've been suffering with several heart attacks, I can only fully support it. It's an absolutely fabulous thing.
I was down in Oxfordshire recently, and a lot of the small towns and villages there have them in old disused phone boxes. and to train members of the public to be in the use of them, which I think would be a good idea.
Councillor Cockrell.
Seeing that it says a maximum of 5 packages can be requested per organisation, is it worthwhile the Town Council considering if there are any other areas within Filey which would be, prominent positions where, one could be located? Obviously with the agreement of other people, but it might be sensible for us to put one overall application in.
Councillor Zamble and Councillor Casey, please.
Based on you missed me the first time and went to Council Hackstead.
I do apologise, Councillor Zamble.
Never mind, Rudolph.
You must make yourself more prominent.
I think you got to ready.
Go on, say what you want to say now, instead of giving it.
You're going good now.
But it's been a long time coming. It's something we've talked about for a long time. And I was only going to illustrate exactly what keeps coming up. What Councillor Butterworth said, that it is something we do need. We are, public. There is a lot of elderly people, and Councillor actually said his art. I really think we should go. You are. You're older than me.
Right.
Yes, I've finished.
Thank you, Councillor.
All right, you can carry on.
Well, that puts over that, but okay.
It just says that they've got to be accessible to the public, preferably 24/7, which wouldn't be the case in the Town Council, would it? So out there in the public, it would be better maybe on the common landing or for certain, for one location. And then might could arrange for the common landing users group to be on train night.
But one of the lifeboat houses.
I'm not sure.
Lifeboat house would be ideal. Well, no, I mean, there's not many places where I can live. I've got Councillor Williams first.
Would it, building on what Councillor Cockrell said, would it be worth approaching Tesco to see if they would have one in their facility? I know it's close to the doctor's surgery and whatever, but doctors aren't open 24 hours.
Yeah, and there's always somebody there.
Is that a viable thing if we're going for more than one?
I mean, it's better putting in for a couple and being successful than putting in for 5.
If you put in for 5, you might get 2,
yes.
Councillor Meek.
I don't think the lifeboat station would object having one on the outside wall, outside of the doors.
You can't have
But that was 24/7. But you can't have them outside.
Well, there'd have to be some.
Well, something's just been done at Flamborough for interfering with it.
Well,
And that's public access.
people have to be trained to use them. The Councillor Cross and myself have done the training. I'm the Councillor Cross.
Yeah, I think I'm going to...
I'll get you in.
So you
This
must,
one in the Close Information Centre for the Event Centre.
if there's somebody, not 24/7, which that apparatus is there 24/7, and somebody's passed to use it, they could just be passive. And I think that one at Flamborough, that's what that
I
is
don't
for.
think they could use it without having had the training.
No. Well, that one at Flamborough is outside, because someone's just been caught interfering with it.
Well,
I don't know.
there will be restrictions on how they've got to be used.
Councillor Haxby,
I
please.
think Jeffrey's right though. It has to be publicly accessible and another helper to be stood there to make sure that member of public is trained. You're a first aider, you go to help somebody, nobody checks you're a first aider, it's on your own sort of head bit if somebody collapses in the street. And it does say here, a free public access defibrillator, not one that's only accessed by people that can use it.
Well,
what I would say, it needs to be under the view of a camera, like the lifeboat house outside the bus station, Murray Street. To stop exactly what happened in Flamborough where some screw went and stole it. And I think they took a picture of him, I think he was on camera, and they actually caught him, if I remember right.
Yeah, they took it back and then they arrested him.
So I think we could find 5 locations that we could put valid applications in.
yeah, I think we need to apply for them and then we can...
The one in the TIC has to be checked every day, the battery, to check the battery's working on it. So somebody has to be responsible for these. You can't just put them out there without having some people that are trained to use them. But maybe the church, do the churches have them?
I don't know about Methodists.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think it has any problem. I've got a few Councillor Casey. Councillor Shaw and Councillor Wilkin and
What
Councillor
about the
Casey,
police
please.
station? Would it be a good idea to put them in there?
Which one?
It's there, isn't it?
I'm open less than anywhere.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can have one police station or the former.
It's a police
The
office
police
now, it's not a police
station.
There is one at the Hebron, isn't there?
There is at the
There is at the Hebron.
Oh, right.
For sure. Councillor Wilkin and Councillor Casey, please.
Well, I think if we apply for them and we don't meet the criteria, then they won't give us any. If you don't meet the criteria, so I think we should apply for them and then worry about the locations if we get to all that.
I think you have to put the locations on I think on the application.
But he's talking about the commitment to train the community, so it's not like so we could run we would have to run training courses.
One thing that I thought I could put in the application bit was for the emergency plan group, because that you would probably need more than one at the Evidence Centre or have one on standby, or to send out into the community.
And if one of the emergency plan committees is trained on the use, they could take that to wherever.
Councillor Casey, please. Councillor Casey.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good idea now, but it's a bit fraught with danger, isn't it, public access ones, if somebody who's not trained comes and just does it as a joke with the power or whatever, and suddenly you've got a death or a serious injury in your hands, who's responsible? I would have any guess it'd be the council. So I think it's a serious consideration to make.
Councillor Meek and Councillor Costa, please.
They're not very clear on the bullet points. I don't think we could do with more information. Especially the first bullet point. Will be accessible to the public, preferably 24/7. What do they mean?
There is a website that may give a bit more information.
And as Maureen's just pointed out, it's got to be approved by the local ambulance service, so they've got to,
So it's going to be a lengthy process, really.
it is.
Put info and see what happens.
We get comments going.
Councillor Copley, please.
Yeah, I'd be surprised, I don't know the defibrillator, but I would be surprised if by now they've been designed with so many safeguards in the use that more or less anybody, provided they can read some instructions, would be able to use them.
Having done the training, and Councillor Copley bearing out on it,
I'm going to fetch Tammy in a minute.
there's got a lot of safeguards you've got to check first, haven't you, Councillor Cross, before you can put the patches on, the pads on. Somebody's in a pool of water, you don't stick a pad on somebody. But the defibrillator.
It's lifeboat out.
Will you spend standing orders for a moment, please? Councillor Cross.
Thank you, Chair. As I say, I think we did the training probably the first time, probably 6 years ago, Gina.
Yes, I did.
And there's only myself and Gina that kept it up, and the councillors that were on that time. Thank you, John. We'll do that next time. So what we're going to say on it, I think it's a brilliant idea. I think it's a matter of getting the defibrillators and then deciding where to go. My view would be the supermarkets. You've got one on the front, or maybe the pubs. They are going to be open to people that they can be played, but I spent a lot of time in Northern Cyprus and they're actually just there, attached to a post, and nobody plays with them. They're actually on open view, they're outside bars, they're outside pubs, they're outside various places, so I'm sure we could find a place for them. And I think, the Lifeboat House would be a good place, one of the pubs in town, supermarket, they are there, that's available. There's one in the Evidence Centre. The problem that you've got one in the Evidence Centre, it's shut now and it's locked up and it won't be open until 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So you've got to find somewhere 24/7. We don't really want Tesco's open 24/7, or most of them in the big cities are open. 24/7, but I'm sure we can find a place for them. Let's get the defits, you know, and get them there, because they are a big asset to the town. It's one of them things, you know, it's a bit like your life assurance policy. You never want to use it, but you've got one, and I think we should get them to the town. The lifeguards carry them about on the front when we do the 10k race. It's there.
Okay, so we need to take standing orders, please.
Yeah.
Councillor
Well,
Haxford.
just the thought of Sam Cross running around with a pair of jump leads like Mr. Bean connected to the lamp post. Fills me with fear.
Right, so John, I go from the mains, it won't be from a 12-volt battery over.
So let's bring it to a close now. So are we happy for Jeannie to apply for 5 refits? And we'll see what comes back. Are we all in favour with that? Thank you.
Could I just come in a minute, in discussing items from the Member of Parliament? As a resident of the Country Park Estate, I wrote an informative letter to Kevin Hollingake MP regarding neglected properties on Wooldale Drive and Fir Tree Drive. He agreed action should be taken and contacted Scarborough Borough Council regarding this matter. Action is now being taken on Fir Tree Drive property, and Wooldale Drive is now being investigated more thoroughly, hopefully with a result in the near future. I tried several times to get something done with Scarborough Borough Council, but once Kevin Hollingake was aware of the situation, things happened very quickly.
Excellent. Well done. Any comments from members on that statement?
Dodgy road will dodgy area.
Right, thank you, Councillor Shaw. 16, end of 2015 bathing season water quality results. To receive update from the Yorkshire Water Bathing Partnership for information.
The bathing water quality in Filey has been classified as good in 2015.
You're very welcome to stay.
And continuing investigations are ongoing to improve the water quality.
Any comments from members? I think we've got good again. Shame I haven't got a flag, but good night, Ben. Councillor Haxby.
I mean, when I left over 5 years ago, I think that, I can't remember what the slogan was, but they were striving to get excellent for everybody. And I see now they've changed the slogan to a coast to boast about. And Filey's never improved since then, you know, it's been 5 years now. I say we're not on our own. Reading as well, which is unusual in itself. And Scarborough South is worse than us, fortunately. But it just seems to drag on and on and on. You know, whether they're not putting the resources into it. But as I say, they were originally, when this new bathing water directive came out, going for excellent for every beach. Apart from Stage, which was written off as a... We were trying to be designated then, but every other beach was supposed to be up to excellent standard. It just goes on and on, with no blue flag now, you know, it's a shame really, because we do deserve excellence. And it's just the odd 1 or 2 places, I'm sure. I don't think it's a major problem. But I'll say, when the meeting's been at Scarborough Council, I don't want to go too far from it.
Councillor Cocker?
Yeah,
Councillor Wilkie?
the meeting that was held at Scarborough the week before last, they were reminded of that slogan about everybody being excellent. What I'm told is that the Yorkshire Water drainage, in effect, is 3 branches coming to one near Scarborough roundabout, and it's felt that that is one of those branches is the main cause, and at the moment they're concentrating, as I said in the statement, to the area to the north of Scarborough Road, so Parish Fields, Groveville, that area. Unfortunately, Yorkshire Water's personnel keeps changing, but anyway, we keep plugging away.
Any further comments from members? Councillor Wilkie?
Am I reading this right, that we're the same as what we were, although it's good, we're the same standard as what it was in the previous guideline years, because from that on the front?
I believe so, I think they're good. Although we should have a blue flag.
I've seen in previous years we've had
4 years, 5 years?
well, mandatory was 2012, but we have had a blue flag with the same level of results.
Yeah, but the
criteria
criteria
change, yeah.
It's more the goalpost, isn't it?
It's about half or double,
Yeah,
whichever
but on
way
the
you look at it.
outside, to the general public, it looks like you've gone backwards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We always met mandatory, which was the government's mandatory standard. And we, more often than not, met guideline standard, which was another 50% on top better, which translates to good at the moment. So, yes, we're on par with what we were, but not good enough for the new guidelines.
The new blue flag.
Which are a lot more stringent, it has to be said. But they were aware of this coming 10 years ago. You know, it's nothing new.
Under these EU guidelines,
The new urban bathing water directive, urban wastewater treatment directive, bathing water.
Any other comments, members? No? No, thank you. We'll all accept that report then.
Yep.
Agenda item 17. Gina, Council report, please.
The work from the outstanding list. The new job campaign posters have arrived this week. So I'll set up a meeting with the Borough Council Senior Dog Wardens and PCSO Tony Day, who's going to talk about it if he's attended tonight. He's been working with the stage group, they've done some posters as well. So we're going to do a partnership approach. So in the new year, I think members can, who want to attend the site meeting of all the areas that were identified for where these posters can go and where they can be, erected in those areas. The car parking on Scarborough Road, I haven't heard anything from Councillor Cross on that. If you were going to take that up.
I've said that before.
Yeah. The Country Park Centre, I had hoped to take that off, but we'll leave it on until I put in place Mr. Starkey. And the credit process has already been discussed earlier in the meeting. So you have a list of dates, upcoming dates, and if you note those in your diary. I've put an extra meeting on for the archive working party. Same day as the staffing committee on Thursday the 17th of December. After the staffing committee, approximately 10:30, because quite a lot of the members on the staffing committee are also on the archive working party. And members do have to discuss a way forward for the archive in the light of Mr. Mulryan's health. I've got the St Catherine's Santa Dash on Sunday, the camping party, Chairman and
Yes.
myself.
Are any other members taking part on Sunday?
Oh, unfortunately, I've got a civic engagement.
Oh, you have, haven't you?
Yes.
You know, I should have taken that, Councillor Bushnell.
I shall not be there.
Are you, Councillor?
We're going to follow you with a defibrillator.
You wouldn't be able to keep up, Councillor.
They've been in training. So we pass that round, and the contributions will be straight.
After the sad news that we've heard this week, we'll have a bit more meaning in this collection. Sorry, Gina.
Yeah. So the mayor, Santa Dash, then we're on to the mayoral engagement. You're up to just before Christmas, 58 engagements that you've attended since May this year. Lots of Christmas events coming up.
Can I just come in on the matter, please, Mark?
Yeah.
It was an attendance at the the Light for Life, the St Catherine's Light for Life. It was noted by several residents, and they did actually say to me that, you know, it seemed quite disappointing that although I attend and Susan attends, that not many councillors appear to be seen about town, you know, attending such events. Now I know that councillors, it's not rubbish, councillor Casey, it's what was told, excuse me, it's what was told to me. I'm just repeating words. You know, and I said, well, councillors are busy, and you can't make them to come, but you know, I'm just letting you know that it is noted that councillors, you know, aren't appearing at parts of many events, particularly special events like that, as they should be. And I think you should know what's being said. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
As an alternative to that, there were a lot of councillors at Remembrance Day. There was really good attendance by the council for that occasion. And the Deputy Mayor and myself conducted a 2-minute silence at the War Memorial on the 16th of November as a mark of respect for people that had lost their life in Paris. There were quite a few residents that supported that as well. And it was quite appreciated by them. All the Christmas trees and lighting has now been complete. Everything's up, everything's lit, I think, touch wood. We have had a few little teething problems, but they've been sorted out now. We've got the White Roads update from the Yorkshire Local Council Association. There's a few bits of information in there. Councillors, if they read that, just keep them abreast with new things that are coming on board from the YMCA. They're very good at keeping us up to date. Christmas card collection, that's gone around. Thank you very much for everybody that's contributed. We've also got a new schedule of meetings for all the meetings up to May next year. So if you could put that, note all the meetings in your diary, keep it in your reference file. If there's any amendments to those meetings, I'll let you know. And the offices will be closed on Wednesday the 23rd of December and reopen on Monday the 4th of January. And that concludes my report. And just like to the Shaw councillors and all the families from all the staff, a very happy Christmas and all the best for the new year.
Any questions for Gina? Councillor Cockrell?
Yeah, could I ask on the schedule of meetings why the June council is TBC?
Why the what, sorry?
June council to be confirmed.
Yes. I need to come back nearer to into the year because we've got quite a lot of meetings in May and I've got a holiday in June. Whether you would like to stick to the second Wednesday in June, and if so, Maureen will take the meeting for me, if that's acceptable, or we could honour the and I will be back then.
Well, I think, Chairman, we ought to leave it as it is because it's always been that, and certainly some of us have also been making holiday arrangements around that date, so we don't miss it.
For the second Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Maureen will then get for me then, if that's okay. It's just that the end of year accounts go to the June meeting, and normally I like to be here to answer any questions from members.
We'll go around then.
Yeah.
We'll go around the room. Councillor Busworth? I'm hearing that piece of information anyway.
I'm happy to move it if it suits everybody else.
Okay.
I agree, I'm happy. So do you need to go have a holiday and we'll all stay on the second Wednesday?
Based on the information that
Yes.
the council's given us.
I think the same, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll stick our standing orders.
Okay. Councillor Meek?
Yeah, move it.
I'll fit in wherever.
Well, we'd like one more than Councillor White.
Just you go on, whichever. You know, I'm not against either.
We'd have to give public notice on the website and if the meeting date wants to be changed.
Councillor Wilkie?
It just stay on the second Wednesday.
Councillor Casey?
Standing orders are standing orders. If it's the second Wednesday, it's the second Wednesday.
Yeah, second.
Well, but it is in standing order, so we should follow it.
So, can we have a show of hands then?
What is Wednesday?
Well, the second Wednesday is a standing order.
So, I shall not be here then, I shall be on holiday and Maureen will take the meeting. The Finance Committee will go through all the year-end accounts and I'm sure we'll be able to answer any questions from members. If not, I will answer them on my return. Is that okay?
Can we go, do members want to go back to agenda item 4 and off York, please? Has anybody got any issues on that? Wish to talk about? No?
Just ask them when they're going to find a new parking place. Ask them when they're going to find a new parking place.
Well, it's legal.
No, it's legal.
Right, agenda 18, request to obtain or present information. Items being notified to the town mayor and the town clerk prior to the start of the meeting and being of an informative nature only, not able to be dealt with by the office and not resulting in policy decisions or financial implications for the town council. Have any items been notified to the clerk?
Just that Mr Moran will have his operation on Friday.
I'm sure we
wish
him all the best. And none to me either. So I'd like to, just on behalf of Susan and myself, wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And please stay this evening and enjoy a drink. And Councillor Glanville's kind of got some nipples along for us, so please
Some oats.
do stay. And I'll stop before the meeting. Thank you.